Okay, everyone, make sure you have a pen and paper ready to take notes of the formulas and examples as we go. Listen again. The benefit of the video, of course, is that you can rewind and repeat if you need to. I will occasionally ask you to pause and have a go at questions or an activity. If I do, please make sure you do that. Real learning does come from the active participation, not passively listening. To begin with, here are 4 starter questions. Pause now, have a go at them, and then come back for the answers. Please limit your time on this section. Okay, the answers for these. The first one, 1/3 times 42 is 1/3 of 42, 14. The volume of a cuboid, such as this one, you need to just multiply all 3 lengths together. You should get 270,000 centimeters cubed. The question about the field, well, first you need to know how big it is. It's 50 meters by 110. So we're going to add those together twice because the perimeter is all the way around and a rectangle has 4 sides. You'll get 320 for that. From there, you can times by 8 for the 8 pound per meter. 2,560. The final one, the area of a circle, you should be using pi r squared. The radius is 8, so it's pi times 8 squared, or 64 pi, if you're going to leave it in terms of pi. If you're going to have it as a decimal, 201.1 to 1 decimal place. Here's today's title, Volumes of a Pyramid. And we're going to be looking at all sorts of pyramids and how to find missing lengths and volumes. Okay, before we do that though, quick reminder, here's the area of a triangle. We have a base and we have the perpendicular height, the height at 90 degrees to the base. The area of a triangle is a half times the base times the height. You should know that one already. What we're looking at today is the 3D equivalent of a triangle, the pyramid. Okay? The formula for the volume of a pyramid, such as this one, and I do need you to make sure you write this down, is going to be 1/3 times the base area, this blue square in this case, times the height from the very floor of the base all the way up to the tip of the pyramid. Notice that in the area of a triangle, we have a half times base times height, and for the volume of a pyramid, we have 1/3 base times height. Okay, but it's base area, and the third relates to the fact that this is 3 dimensions rather than 2 dimensions. So, please bear that in mind, that formula as we go. Here's an example of the sort of thing I'm expecting you to do. Find the volume of this pyramid. It gives you the area of the base already. It's 15 centimeters. And it's 10 centimeters high. So we're going to do 1/3 times 15, the area of the base, times 10, the height. Put that into your calculator and you'll get 50 centimeters. If you're using a non-scientific calculator, the easy way to do this is to do the 15 times 10 and then divide by 3 to find 1/3 of your answer. Example 2 on the right, it says find the volume of the following square-based pyramid. Now, on this particular example, it only gives you 1 side length. But it tells you in the question it is a square-based pyramid, which means that side there is also 6. 6 times 6 will give you a base of 36. So now we know that bit, the area of the square, 6 times 6 is 36 square inches. And then we can substitute that into our volume formula. 1/3 times 36 times 8. This should give you 96 cubic inches, or inches cubed. Once you've got those down, there are 5 questions here. They are all showing various types of pyramids with different bases. The formula is the same for each one, and I want you to pause it, work out the volume, and then unpause it for the answers. Okay, the answers for these. The first one, we should have done 1/3 times 18 times 8 for 48. This is a pentagonal base. 1/3 times 12 times 11 gives 44 meters cubed, and that is a hexagonal based pyramid. The next one, the area of the base, which is a circle, is 1/3 times 22 times 12 to give 88 cubic feet. The circle is our base, meaning it only has two faces, just the circle and then the curved surface on here, and you will know the shape better as a cone. It's still a pyramid. Mathematically speaking, for the purpose of volume, this is still just a pyramid. It's still going to be 1/3 of this base area times the height. Question D, there's your answer. Notice that in this case, maybe the point isn't actually directly above the center like it certainly was in A and B. And doesn't actually matter. The formula doesn't change wherever that point moves because we are using the perpendicular height at a right angle to the floor. And the final one is 36. Okay, question 2 wants you to work out the area first and then go from there. You'll notice that it says in the question these are square base pyramids. So you need to use the fact that it's a square to realize that both sides of the square are the same. Have a go, pause it now, have a go, and unpause for the answers. Okay, for the first one, you should have got that the area of the base was 49, and 1/3 times 49 times 9 is 147. The second one, the base was 64, and 1/3 times 64 times 6 is 128. And the final one, 36 yards squared, a volume of 120 yard cubed or cubic yards. 2D, E, and F continue these questions, but we have a base of a triangle, so think very carefully about how you find the area of a triangle first. And the area of a circle, remember, you need to be able to recall this. The area of a circle is pi r squared. So pause it now, have a go, and then unpause for the answers. Okay, 7 times 4 is 28, divide by 2 because it's a triangle, 14 for the base, times 9, times 1/3, 42 centimeters cubed. Second one, 15 for the base, 55 for the volume. For this one, the area of the circle is 36 pi. The volume is 60 pi, so 1/3 times 36 pi times 5 gives you 60 pi, which as a decimal is 188.5 millimeters cubed. Okay, now we're going to move on to finding a missing height given a volume and the base. So for this question, we know the volume is 112 meters cubed. We also know the base is 24 meters squared, and we want to know what is the height. Well, we're still going to use the same formula. The volume is 1/3 of the area times height. The area is 24, so I've put that in. We know that the volume is 112, so we've got 112 equals 8h, because 1/3 of 24 gives me the 8 times h. If I want to find out a single value of the height, then we use a little bit of algebra, divide both sides by 8, and get 14 meters for the height. Okay, so what we did was we used the formula, we put in what we know, the area and the volume, cleaned it up a little bit, and then solved it using algebra. Okay, so the 1/3 of 12 is where I got my 8 from, and then we divide by 8 because I want 1h instead of 8. Here is a second example. On this one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use our formula. We know the area already of the base is 33. We can substitute in the volume we've been given. 1/3 of 33 gives me the 11. That's where that comes from. So 132 is the same as 11 times something. 11 times the height. Well, divide both sides by 11 and you'll find that the height is 12 centimeters. Once you've copied these down, you can have a go at these questions. In each case, I've already given you the area of the base. You're required to find the height, and I've left the example in the top right here so you can refer back to it. Pause it, have a go, and see what you come up with. Okay, the answers for these. The first one, you should have had a height of 21. The second one, a height of 8, and the third one, a height of 12. Okay, here we're going to try and find the length of the base. It's a square base pyramid. It has a height of 9, a volume of 27. We want to know what is the length of the base. We're still going to start the same way, using the formula we've been using all along. The volume of a pyramid is 1/3 of the base area times height. So, the volume is going to be 1/3 times L squared times 9. Well, we know the volume, so we can put that in. And we also know that 1/3 of 9 is 3, because 9 divided by 3 will give us 3. So now what we know is that 27 is the same as 3 lots of L squared. Now be really careful here that you don't do this in the wrong order. We need to solve this using algebra. The first step is to divide both sides by this number here, the front number coefficient 3. So we divide both sides by 3, which will give us 9 on the left and L squared on the right. So some number squared gives us 9. Well, you might be able to just come up with that in your head because it's one you should probably know. But you can use a square root function. If you square root 9, you'll find the answer is 3. Okay, so this length here is 3, as is that length. And we had to square root it because it was a square. Here's a second example. Again, we have a square base pyramid, a height of 9 again, a volume of 192, and we want to know the length of the base. Start off with the formula. I've substituted in already the fact that it is 9 tall. Next, we can substitute in the volume, 192, and again 1/3 of 9 is 3, and we've got 3L squared. A little bit of algebra again. Divide both sides by 3, and we're going to find that 64 is the same as L squared, and if you square root that, you'll find that 8 is the answer. And remember, with these questions, you could substitute in your answer back into the formula, and if it gives you an answer of 192, then you know you've done it right. So, again, here are 3 examples. Each one is a square-based pyramid. I've given you the volume and the height. I want you to find this length. And I've left in the top corner the model we're using. Pause it, have a go, and then unpause it for some answers. Okay, our answers for this one. We should have had 5, 8, and 10. We finish here today with 2 slightly more challenging puzzles to solve. Okay, so little problem solving questions. In one, we have 2 shapes with the same volume, and I want you to try and work out what H is. And the second one, we have 2 shapes joined together, a cuboid and a pyramid. And what it wants you to do is bear in mind it is a square-based pyramid. That is very important. I want you to calculate the volume of that solid. Treat it as 2 parts, a cuboid and the pyramid. Okay, the first one, you should have got 15 for the height by finding the volume of this. 5 by 7 by 6 will give you 210, and then you can use that and the volume, the pyramid here to work out this missing height. So you know that's 210, so the volume of this pyramid is 210. Use that then in your formula. The second one, the cuboid, is 726. The clue here that you might have missed is that that length there is 11. Because the pyramid is square-based, so is this cuboid. Okay, so the cuboid is 11 by 11 by 6. And then your pyramid is, from there to there, is 6 tall because the whole thing is 12, and this part of the cuboid is 6. Total for the pyramid is 242. Add them together, 968. Okay, that's all of the questions. Once you're finished, make sure to submit your work. Well done for today, and we'll talk soon.